I talk about the three steps to learn foreign languages. Three steps to learn foreign languages is very unique. The first is repeat after me. Second, using presentation. Third, and the last, and listening to podcast or listening the radio, some news without any pictures. But think about how can we listen to the only the sound, just like opening through mobile phone. And this is only we depend on the sound and listening to the word by word, phrase by phrase, or sentence by sentence. And then while we're listening, so we can catch the words and phrase and sentence of whole stories. And this ability is very difficult and also is time consuming. It takes a long time for us to listen to the only the sound from speakers and who speak stories and speak some information or the lesson. Yeah. So many things. Uh, just listen to the interview or podcast on YouTube video channel. And there are so many cases when we try to listen. And also sometimes we enjoy and good information. For example, famous interviewer or famous people, experts who speak on public by recorded one. And then we are focusing on listening because the information is very important for us. And then we are interested in listening to people. And then because they are expert, so we are interested with the contents. So, and then we use that. Let's think about I create some content from Notebook LM. I can create some podcast to man and woman talking about the topic for about 15 minutes. It's not short. It quite long stories. Um, Even though my content, the original content is very short and about only 1 or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then the notebook I create about podcast. I edited some using Wondershare the Filmora, and then that is unique. And then so I created podcast between men and women who talk about the topic about 50 minutes. Then I try to listen. I realize that, and then this level is a very high level. So, and then in the end, I created this contents. So, and then there is some benefit to understand. And also there is something new that I found. That is, for example, when I listen to them and they talking, I try to follow them, what they are talking. And then in my brain, in my mind, and then I can uh, reflection of the words or phrase and sentences, what they are talking about. And then some, mostly the words reflect, and then just, it seems like in my brain and my memory react about that. And then because I remember the word, I remember the phrase, I remember the sentence, I can catch the meaning, what they are talking, not total, but parts of parts. And then so, and I can listen more. So the reason why I can listen, it means I repeat, I practice the languages especially in Vietnamese. And then I repeat the languages, especially in Vietnamese. I repeat the languages, especially in Vietnamese. I study, repeat after me. I watch some videos and then using the presentation to learn foreign languages. The way to the contents and then lots of contents, building vocabulary, using um, studies with my language partners, and then all the effort. And then now I'm effective in learning, in using the languages. So, and then I a little bit familiar and then getting confident in listening by figuring out the word, phrase, and sentence, and then hopefully and the whole stories. This is a really important part when I listen to podcast or radio from the then and I can touch a little bit um, with my contents. Actually, that is very important. How much I know is much important, and how much I express, and then also important because the comprehension is from expression um, in many ways. So, and then I try to capture what I listen using what I know. This is a very simple theory, and then hopefully someone who want to learn foreign languages and then want to reach the top level by listening the radio podcast, and then they can realize that how much they should learn. The second steps are two steps. The first step is repeat after me, and the second step using presentation. By doing that, and then building vocabulary, and then get used to expression, word, phrase, and sentences. In the end, familiar with the stories. After listening level and for high level, after then when I talk and maybe I can speak in Vietnamese about some topics naturally, freely, and then hopefully and get high level in expression as well. If I can reach the top of level in comprehension, then and I can practice expression, just like speaking in good pronunciation and writing in properly in grammar. Then also the rule is very important. Now I am talking about the third step in comprehension, learning about foreign language, and with this, with AI, making subtitles. In English, my content show how to improve listening skill. For example, repeat after me and using presentation and using podcast or radio. Then the third step, I can catch the meaning of the words, phrases, sentences, and the story because I can use the contents that I understand. For example, in my brain, my memory will help with listening to understand those expressions. It means very important how much I know. This is the effort to learn foreign language from step one to step two, and also step three after group reading with. Using AI is just like the Hungbu sowing the pumpkin, treasure pumpkin. We don't know what what content share out. They're very expecting, and I am thinking about my idea. This is naturally from web, from content, from this, correct, agile. Let's see. My content is brain, how to improve listening skill for language I use with that. Stable, correctly, my repeating sound, word, and sentence I train my ear, my tongue, and my memory. These steps help me recognize the basic reading, pronunciation, and expression of language. And step two is presentation. I watch presentation of visual content, picture, and subtitle me understand the meaning. It's a beautiful vocabulary, expression patterns, and confidence. I practice within my language partner and create the ground group leading material so I can review them many times. Step three, listen to podcast or radio sound only. This is the most difficult step because there are no picture, only sounds like talking on the phone. We depend 100% on listening. When I listen, I try to catch word, phrase a sentence, and eventually the whole story. This takes time, patience, and effort. Sometimes I listen to interviews with the expert or famous people because the content is interesting and informative. I focus more. I enjoy learning from these voices. I also create my own content. For example, I made a podcast where a man and woman talk about topic for 15 minutes. I edit it in Wondershare Filmora, even though the original content was short, and I expanded it into a longer conversation. When I listened to my own podcast, I realized it was actually high-level listening practice. While listening, something interesting happened in my brain. My memory relates the word and phrase that I already know. Because I remember them, I can connect them to the new information I hear. This helps me understand more and more. I do this especially in Vietnamese. I repeat after video with presentation story vocabulary partners. Review subtitle over time. I became more confident. Now I can recognize the word, phrase, and sentence, and sometimes even whole stories. The key idea is simple. Listening ability depends on how much you know, and expression ability depends on how much you can use. If learners to follow these two steps, repeat after me, use the presentation, and listen to podcasts or radio, they can reach high-level listening skills. After that, they can speak naturally, write with the correct grammar, and express themselves confidently. Okay.